Where you at, Berto?
7 types of women to never date. You will be miserable. One thing that is 100% sure, as a man, choosing the wrong woman to be your forever. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if you're not a degenerate, you know, you're dating with intention, and maybe one day this is gonna be the mother of your child, your wife, your queen, the one that you are passing your empire to. You know what I'm saying? Choosing the wrong woman could be the biggest mistake of your entire life as a man. So, you know, you definitely want to be careful and be pretty anal about setting your expectations and what you expect out of your woman, and making sure that you're showing up to be the best man for your woman, but you want to be doing that for the right woman and not the wrong one. So let's get right into the video and see what some of these red flags are. 7 types of women that we should avoid at all costs. Let's do it.
I'm gonna save you years of wasted time, energy, and heartbreak by sharing the 7 types of women to never date. They'll drain your purpose, kill your peace, and leave you wondering what went wrong. Most guys never see these red flags until it's too late. They're too caught up in attraction, attention, and lust. But before I start, understand this. Dating is an investment. You're potentially building a life, a family, and merging your DNA with your partner. You gotta do your due diligence before you invest. That's why the first type of woman is the one who's not really into you, but keeps you around.
Oh, this is a layup, but for sure.
Let me explain. She cancels plans last minute, doesn't respect your schedule, gives you maybe to dates, and responds to your text hours later with dry answers. But when you're about to move on, she throws you just enough attention to keep you hooked. Here's what's really happening. You're her backup option. You're part of what I call her attention roster. She's got you.
Bro, some women, especially nowadays, bro, I call it damn near mental illness. Like, they literally will keep you around just so they can get validation, gang. It's like some girls, they get a thrill of just knowing that you're a notification in their phone. They check their phone and they see some unread messages. When they see the messaging app and they see a red logo or red number above it, when it says 10, 20, 30, like, that just makes them feel good, just being validated. And some guys, you know, she definitely gonna have her top 2 or 3 where she's like, oh no, I'm actually pursuing these guys and I want them to be the one to wife me up. But if you're not, you know, in the starting lineup, you know, of potentially being like what she wants, trust me, you will know, you will feel it, bro. Don't waste no time. Do not waste no time. Do not waste no time trying to prove yourself to somebody that honestly doesn't even want you, gang. Like, they will show you. They will show you their true colors if they're interested. So when you see that a woman's not interested, you know, there can be a plethora of reasons. One, maybe you got to work on yourself some more. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? Take some accountability. Maybe you don't really bring that much to the table yet. Or you do bring shit to the table. They just don't like that type of food. You know, some people are allergic to shit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you a fucking a shrimp. Maybe you're a type of seafood. Some bitches are allergic to seafood. You know what I'm saying? So you got to find a bitch that likes seafood, that, you know, that love the shrimp Alfredo. Crazy analogy, but that's true. Is, you know, so you just might not be everybody's cup of tea, gang. Yo, real quick, if you like making money, I need you to watch this part of the video. If you don't like making money, then go ahead and skip it, but that really should be none of y'all. I know you guys have been seeing me promote this new app called Free Cash, and the big talk of the town is
this a scam, Berto? What is this?
Well, look at this guy and this guy, all people from our community that are making money through the Free Cash app. The link is in the description. Even one person from my boy Astro Dior's community made $1,000 using the Free Cash app. I know it sounds crazy, but yes, you can make free money while playing games on your phone. But let me break this down in a very clear way for you guys so you know exactly what's going on. When you sign up for Free Cash using the link in my description, once you're in, you're gonna see a list of games pop up. You download them, you play them, you beat the levels, get to the certain requirements that they tell you to hit. And once you get there, you're gonna get some credits sent to your account. Every single time you hit the requirements, you get paid real money. And they make the process so easy that you can cash out that money into your PayPal or even gift cards. And yes, it is completely free to use. Now, there are some options where you can spend a little cheese to get through the level faster, but you don't need to do that. The reason why this is even possible is because these games are trying to get new players onto their platform. So they pay free cash to pay you to get people to play the game. Now, I know I showed you a crazy example of somebody making up to $1,000, which it's possible, but realistically, it might take some time. This is just an easy way you can make an extra 10, maybe 20 bucks, just doing something that you guys probably do for free anyway. So if you're gonna be bullshitting on your phone playing games, why not get paid? So if you've been on the fence, this is your sign. Click the link in my description and try out a few games. And when you make your money, take a screenshot and send it to me, bro, because I want to see y'all make that cheese. Because if I'm winning, I want to make sure y'all winning too. I love y'all. Y'all know what to do. Link in the description, and you're gonna get a $5 bonus using my shit. Now let's get right back to the video. Where you at, family?
For emotional support, another guy for excitement, maybe another for financial security, and food dates. You're not the main character in her life, just another side piece. You see, when us guys don't have options, we're in scarcity mode. So it's easy to take whatever attention we get. But that's exactly the problem. As a man, you don't chase women, you attract. The only thing you should be chasing is the best version of you and your higher purpose. Trust, when you're locked in on that, high interest women naturally gravitate towards you. If you're negotiating,
and the right woman too, bro, the right one, because again, when you lead with being yourself and being the best version of yourself, like I said, the motherfuckers that are attracted to your shrimp Alfredo pasta, man, they gonna go to the shrimp Alfredo pasta restaurants. You know what I'm saying? Why the fuck you in a seafood restaurant if you only like steak?
with low interest women, you're subconsciously telling
vice
yourself
versa.
your time isn't valuable. And if you don't value your time, why would she? So you see, low interest women waste your time. But this next type drains something even worse. She'll hint at expensive trips, expect you to pay for everything. But when it's her turn to give, there's minimal effort. The dynamic is completely one-sided, and she's not really interested in who you are, only in what you can provide.
Well, one thing you should never do as a man is lead with money, bro. Never lead with money, even if you got it. You know, if it ain't tricking if you got it. And I know there's some guys out here that like to move with the mentality like, hey, man, I got my money together. I don't mind, spending hundreds of dollars on the first date. It is what it is. Like, it doesn't hurt my pockets. But here's the thing, though. When you lead with money, even if you can upkeep that expectation, it's not about that. You genuinely want a woman to respect and fuck with you for you. So when you lead with money, sometimes even unintentionally, sometimes even for good girls with the best of intentions, it clouds their judgment because all they see this flashy lifestyle. They see, what you can do for them financially. And let's not act like money's not a great tool in this world. You know what I'm saying? Like, money don't buy happiness, but motherfucker, it does buy convenience, and convenience can bring a lot of happiness. You know what I'm saying? So even when a girl has great intentions, I'm not even going to talk about the, gold digging bitches and all that shit, right? That's the cliche. We already know that. We want to avoid that, right? But even the good women with good intentions, with good morals and values, but they might, bite the hook too fast on you and be like, you know what? He's a provider. He can provide financially. Boom. I like it. I like that. Clouds their judgment, but they're still not a good match for you. You guys don't have similar interests. You guys, she doesn't necessarily know your personality like that. You don't really know her personality like that. She's already just overly going because it's like, shit, it just looks too good. The diamonds are shining too bright. So you're leading with money and it's clouding everybody's judgment. Even the good girl with good intentions, but just might not be a good fit for you. You know what I'm saying? So again, you want to definitely dial that back, bro. Like, even if you got it, I would say never lead with money, and then obvious, there's the gold diggers out there that will just take advantage of that, blah, blah, blah. But like I said, that's the more cliche. I'm sure this is probably what he's going to break down right here. But that's obviously still a good point.
Don't get me wrong, we want to be rational guys here. So everything in life is transactional to some degree. That's just evolutionary biology. But if that's all your dynamic is, you're not building a relationship, you're just paying for companionship. If you lead with your money or advertise your wealth, you're going to attract transactional women every single time. So instead, lead with your character, lead with your purpose, lead with the man you're becoming, because a woman is genuinely interested in you who respects these traits, not just your bank account. And if she's only around you because of what you provide materially, you got to ask yourself, what happens when things get tough? If the money slows down.
And things will get tough. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't wish that on you. And maybe it doesn't get tough on you financially. But boy, like, one thing I know about being a businessman and all the shit I've been through is like, bro, there's ups and downs in this money shit, boy. And you better have that cheese for a rainy day.
Well, she's going to be gone. And you'll finally realize you were never valued for who you actually were. Honestly, like, you see these dynamics a lot on social media and in high profile locations like in Miami or LA. But none of that is healthy. They're just attracting parasites. Okay, so now you've avoided the time wasters and the transactional woman. But this next type can bring so much chaos into your life without you even realizing until it's too late. This is the kind of woman who hasn't done the inner work. She's carrying unresolved trauma, and instead of dealing with it, she projects it onto everyone around her, including you. Every ex of hers is crazy, every breakup was toxic, she hates all the men in her life. She might even call her own father a narcissist. Honestly, if you meet someone like this, run immediately, because here's the pattern. If all her past relationships end in chaos, and she's the victim in every story, unfortunately, she's the common denominator. Now, I'm not
Always
saying
want to
people
protect
from
your
broken...
peace, bro. Always want to protect your peace. Nothing is worth giving up your peace. If you are bringing a woman into your life, and especially early on, you just noticing you're stressed, you staying up at night, you know what I'm saying? You're wondering what she's doing. She just is just stressing you out. That's not what that's supposed to be. Especially thinking about it, you know, most good relationships in the beginning, it's supposed to be a honeymoon phase. She's supposed to be doing a goddamn good job at hiding her bullshit. So if right in the beginning you are already feeling her bullshit, bro, that is a sign from God. Run. Full speed, gang.
Homes can't change. But if she hasn't done the inner self-work, if she's still living in that victim mentality, she's lacking that self-awareness about herself, her attachment styles, her behavioral patterns, and she's gonna bring that chaos into your life. Once you start dating, she might use the threat of breaking up as a weapon on you. She might use mind games and emotional manipulation. She'll blame you for things that aren't your fault. She's gonna create drama out of nothing, because that's the only dynamic she unfortunately knows.
And this is such a bad mix when you're like a really caring and giving guy too, because, you know, I can tell y'all right now, like I'm a problem solving type of partner. So when people come to me and, you know, they're venting or, you know, upset about something, I'm very solution based. And I think honestly, most guys that are kind of in that provider and leader role, we are solution based. So early on, if you don't have a grip of these red flags and the type of women that are, or just type of people that are just energy drainers and just fucking negative motherfuckers, it can suck you in because you're constantly trying to solve their problems, constantly trying to cope and, you know, figure out how to, you know, overcome the bullshit. But eventually you got to realize that some people are just literally poison, bro. Some people are literally poison. You got to cut them hoes out like a cancer, bro. I hate to compare anybody to that, but some people can be cancer to your peace. And you got to cut that bitch out like a tumor, gang.
Knows. But at the same time, as a man, I gotta be real, you've got to take accountability. If you keep attracting women like this, you've got to look in the mirror, because I truly believe you attract what you are. So if chaos keeps showing up repeatedly, ask yourself, have I done the inner work? Have I actually healed from my own trauma? Healthy people attract other healthy people. And if you want a woman who's emotionally stable, you yourself need to be emotionally stable or actively working towards it. However, even if you find a woman who's drama-free, there's still one trait that can mess up your relationships, and most guys don't even realize this. This is the woman who operates in masculine energy 24/7. She's combative, she challenges you on everything, and she can't let her guard
I like the graphics.
down. Instead of feeling like your partner, she honestly feels like a business associate or even just a friend. Let me be clear, I'm not talking about career woman versus non-career woman. Honestly, I feel like that's kind of a generic take, and there are women in intense careers who are incredibly feminine one-to-one with their partner. But then there's also women who don't have any careers, but they're still hyper-masculine. Listen, it's not about what she does, it's about the energy she brings. Attraction is about polarity. Masculine energy is attracted to feminine energy, and feminine energy is attracted to masculine. When both people operate in the same energy, there's zero polarity and no attraction. It's like two magnets with the same charge. They're gonna repel. So if she's constantly in masculine mode, competing, challenging, and able to relax, the dynamic becomes depolarized. The relationship starts to feel like a friendship or even a rivalry, not a partnership. Now, there's nothing wrong with a woman who's ambitious or successful, but if she can't shift into feminine energy when she's with you and she can't let her guard down, the relationship will always feel off.
Yeah, this is good advice. There's really nothing even to add.
What if you find a woman who's feminine, drama-free, and genuinely interested? Well, this next thing can actually destroy it all. I guess in today's society, this might be a hot take, but this is Glow Up Guy, so I'm gonna be 100% real. If a woman has a history of one-night stands, situationships, friends with benefits, or she's cheated in past relationships, it is a red flag. Past behavior is the best predictor of future behavior. Listen, that's not me being judgmental, that's just pattern recognition. If someone spends years chasing short-term dopamine hookups, situations.
And there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of women's problem too. Not necessarily just in the form of cheating, but just like dopamine junkies, bro. Like everything in their life needs to be surrounded by having a good time, having fun, going out, being with her girls. Like everything is fun, 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 fun. What are we doing today? What are we doing today? What are we doing today? Bro, I promise you, it's going to end in misery, gang. If it's not in a lustful situation, but even just in a life situation, girls that are only fueled by fun, they're never going to be satisfied, because when it comes to relationships, bro, like relationships don't just be fun, bro. Sometimes you want to be able to sit in silence with a motherfucker. Like you want to be able to have a partner that can literally be your best friend on some shit where like y'all can laugh and joke and just have a good time doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? And when somebody's a dopamine junkie where they just constantly always got to be doing something, always got to be, high on life, you're not going to be like, you're never going to be able to satisfy the expectation. And before you know it, what is she going to do? She's either going to cheat on you and go find some other nigga that's going to do it, or she's going to drain you for everything. Because, as a nigga, believe it or not, most of the time when we really love our women, we be bending backwards. We be doing the most for our girls, trying to figure out, compromise, try to make it work. And she going to drain you of all your fucking energy. And then as soon as she's taking all the fucking dopamine out of you and you can't satisfy her fucking dopamine drug habits, she's going to go get her fix somewhere else, gang, and leave your ass. So again, this is big for sure.
Cheating. That becomes a habit. Habits don't just disappear. However, and this is also incredibly important, as healthy masculine men, we also need to hold ourselves accountable. So if you're a guy with a very high body count, ask yourself, are men who lose themselves in lust ever in the kind of healthy relationships we want for ourselves?
And I'll tell y'all this too, bro, as a nigga that, again, I'm gonna be honest, like, been around the block, done stupid shit, bro. When you chase lust, you really get so desensitized to it. So a lot of guys, they, love to up their body count and just be new girl, new girl, new girl, new girl. Bruh, it does make it harder for you to make genuine connections with women, bro, because it gets to a point where it's like, it's all the same. It starts to all feel the same, and you don't really have the same level of discernment when it comes to getting to know a girl, because all you know is getting to the cheeks. And then boom, you get to the finish line, and now you kind of just don't even look at her for who she is as a person. You didn't really get to know her. You just got to the end goal. And before you know it, you do that with 100 different girls. Like, it just fucks your mind up to the point where you kind of don't value what a woman could truly bring to the table. So you do have to have some, like, a level of discipline where it's like, yeah, I'm a guy too, bro. I know what it feels like to, it's like, damn, I want to get in some shit right now. I want to crush some shit. Okay, I feel you, brother. But if you don't keep that shit under control, you will lose yourself, and it will actually fuck up your mental to where when you genuinely are looking for true companionship and, somebody to really spend the rest of your life with, it's going to be a lot harder for you to kind of make out, a good woman from a bad woman, because you spent so much time only knowing how to seduce a woman and get to the end goal. And at the end of the day, like, yeah, like, sex is cool, but that shit is not what's going to keep a relationship together for real.
If you chase lust, it will 100% affect your ability to build long-term relationships, and even your ability to become the best version of yourself and fulfill your purpose. There's so many successful guys whose careers have been tainted because of lust. I'm not saying that no one can change, but if you're this type of woman, understand it's going to be a risky investment. If you're a man building something real, building that future version of yourself, do you really want to gamble on someone whose past suggests the struggle with commitment and loyalty? Now, social media might make it seem like everyone belongs to the streets, but that's just extreme content. Remember, extreme content online gets clicks and gets views, so don't get lost in this mentality. There are absolutely quality women who value long-term relationships and haven't lived a promiscuous lifestyle. You just need the experience and the right environment to see this in real life. So next time you're dating, watch how she talks about her exes. If it's always negative, always drama, always someone else's fault, or she's never had any real commitment, that pattern might repeat with you. But on the plus side, if she speaks about a past of maturity without villainizing anyone from an emotionally grounded perspective, that's a huge green flag. However, if you thought that take was controversial, wait till you hear about the next type. Now, this type of woman is a type who lives in environments that encourage degeneracy. Maybe she'll bartend at a club, or she's deep in the party scene. Or maybe she's in professions where workplace dating and sleeping around is extremely common. For example, nurses, the army, certain entertainment circles, or her entire social circle revolves around hookup culture. Listen, even if every one of those environments isn't a walking red flag, you gotta understand this. Your environment shapes you whether you like it or not. And if you're just constantly surrounded by people who normalize casual hookups, glorify body counts, and treat relationships as disposable, that will influence her.
Yeah, I mean, something that you can always do, and I would say it doesn't have to be a make or break, but it definitely can be, is, you know, look at a girl and look at her friends, bro. Look at her friends. Because a woman's friends can tell you a lot about how that girl moves, dead ass. You know, you know what they say, bro. You are who you hang around, bro.
Even if she didn't start that way. So you gotta really be analytical here. If all her friends are in toxic situationships, talk about the rosters, or encourage her to keep options open, that energy is gonna influence her. So pay attention to the environment she's in and the people around her. That tells you more about her values than most of what she's gonna say to your face. However, this seventh type is the one that tricks so many guys, especially the more successful you become. Because on paper, this next type of woman might seem perfect. She's beautiful, the attraction is high, she's even got high interest in you. But beyond that, there's nothing. No depth, no substance, no
I know this one all too well.
shared values or vision. You don't bring anything meaningful to each other's lives.
Just a pretty face, a nice smile, and a good time. But when it comes to any substance, having a, you know, just a deep conversation, it's like pulling teeth, bro. Like this right here, this one type of woman right here is one of the biggest pump fakes, because everything on a surface level feels great. She looks good. She's nice. She's respectful. Like just surface level checking all the boxes. But it's not till you realize when you are trying to like get to the next step, elevate your mind, elevate her mind. You know what I'm saying? You set goals. You want to be like, yo, where do you see yourself in? And they just, I mean, I don't know. I don't care. Like, I'm just la la la, just floating. It's like, yo, that shit right there, you don't want to be a part of this. This is just dead weight. You know what I'm saying? I'd say, it's like, what do you bring to the table? She don't cook, she don't clean, she don't got no goals, she's not ambitious, she don't want to go to the gym, she's lazy. She just, if anything, it's kind of like sometimes these type of girls, they kind of just be, I don't want to say gold diggers, but they just want the end result. Everything is just like, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this, you know, I like this, I like this, I like that. But there's nothing, what it takes to get from point A to point B, they're never willing to put in the work or do nothing.
If you're on your purpose and increasing your SMV, you're gonna reach a point where you have options. So attractive women become the baseline, not just the goal. Think about healthy, successful men. These types of men, when they're dating, they always ask themselves, what else is she bringing into my life? And what am I bringing into hers? Are you compatible beyond just physical attraction? Because looks fade. Chemistry even might not burn as hot, but shared values, mutual respect, and genuine connection, that's what builds something long term. However, if an inexperienced guy or you're still in scarcity mode, let me tell you something. The first attractive woman who gives you attention might make you lose composure. So it's likely that you're going to ignore the red flags and make irrational decisions. You're going to end up in relationships that looks good on the surface but feels empty underneath. But listen, that's actually fine. Experience is the best teacher. So you just need to put in these reps. So work on yourself, put yourself out there and date enough to become comfortable around attractive women. Because once you're no longer impressed by just looks, you can finally evaluate compatibility in a rational way. And that's exactly when you'll find someone who's not just attractive, but actually adds value to your life. So comment below which
W video, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. You know, I definitely added where I felt like I could add some more value. So love y'all, appreciate y'all. And I'll see you on the next one. Where you at, family? I'm gone.
Where you at, Berto?